thinking of how to phrase it. Oh, I got you. Yeah, I wasn't really sure, you know, what to say other than go ahead and ask. You know, that's where I was, you know, my position. So, hey, what's up, Bill? You caught me. How you doing? Nice to see you too. I mean, my schedule. I try to keep a similar schedule, but stuff gets crazy. You know, I try to come on here once a week. Sometimes I'll sneak one extra like live in, but we try to pop off one video a week and one live a week, just so I can keep giving y'all like not necessarily baby steps, but you know, food to chew on slowly. I'm not one of them content creators that just want to start pumping out massive amounts of information nonstop. Although I have it, it would not be beneficial to. I mean, because like right now I have like 100 and almost 30 videos, you know, and it just gets endless. It just gets endless. So you know, and that's why I kind of like coming on here, because for me it's more personal to come on one and answer people's questions and to help them out on a case by case basis. Or, you know, because some people don't want to text, because, you know, texting is kind of hard, especially on a 2-inch keyboard. Now, I'm sitting there with my phone and a 2-inch keyboard, and it's just like trying to text with my big fingers on this thing, and I'm much more adequate on a big computer. And that's why that's why I have this set up now. You know, I got it set up where I'm on the computer, and I was thinking today on how I could put my camera to where it's like it looks like I'm looking at y'all instead of just kind of down here zoning out and stuff like that. Doing okay. Thanks again for the intellect, Hope Trail. Well, I really am. Thank you for following and watching and listening and enjoying what I put out. I text better than I type. I got you. Well, I'm kind of opposite. I'm getting a lot better on the phone now. There was a phase where I went through that swipe where you can just kind of not lift your finger up and just kind of, and I thought that was kind of neat. But I'm getting to now where I just can da 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 da. My baby mama can use two thumbs. She'll it's insane. When I first started dating her, it blew my mind how fast she could type on the phone. It was like, and I was like, daggone, but she's a whole another generation away from me. She's 13 years younger. So she's in a whole nother. Thanks for the heart cancer empath. I appreciate it. Nice to see you on here. I'm getting your content. I'm checking your emails and stuff. I get kind of busy sometimes with all these houses. It's been a little nuts. Each one of them's, like I said, like a little baby and needs burping, and oh my gosh, this crazy deal I got going on in this one commercial property where the city made them put in a commercial backflow for this little place, and the water was off for like 150 days, and the gasket rotted, and so when the water got cut back on, it was spraying all inside the building. Had to go in there and mop it up. And apparently you can't just use a regular plumber on a backflow. There has to be a commercial licensed specific type of plumber for a backflow preventer. And like I'm learning all this stuff. I've been in facilities for a while. I know what backflows do. I just didn't know that there was a specific licensed plumber that could only mess with that sort of stuff. So, and it's got to be certified every year. In the city, like, I'm so mad. It's like, why did the city even make them put this thing in? Because it's just not even needed. If y'all seen it, it just doesn't even make sense. It's crazy. Thank you for the finger heart, Veronica. I appreciate it. How's everybody doing? What's going on? What's popping? It's Friday. I have cut back on drinking a little bit, but tonight is a wine night, so I'm gonna enjoy me some red Cabernet Sauvignon. I don't know how to pronounce it. It sounds a little bit like filet mignon Sauvignon. Oh, you can use both hands. Mine are too big. I feel like my hands are too big to get on the phone. Like, I don't know. I feel like they'd be fighting. Now, I'm good on the keyboard. Like, I get the two hands thing, like trying to reach over and this and that and other. But when it comes to that tiny little 2-inch keyboard, I mean, I can palm a basketball. Like my whole phone fits in my hand. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I guess it's just big guy problems. You like a good red wine? Now I'm not like I have had a few wines that are so good that I kind of wish that I would have written down the names, but I'm not like one of them swirling the glass, sniff it, put your finger in the air, see like check the bubbles on the tongue, stuff like that. Like I'm taking shots of wine so that I can get a little tipsy. I'm not trying to like get the effervescence or whatever you call it. Like, I'm just trying to have a little bit of fun. But everybody's got their own little tastes and differences, so it's all part of the way things are. Tiny hands. You have tiny girl hands. How tall are you, Veronica? I'm 6. I thought I was 6'3". I might have shrunk a little bit because I'm like 6'2" and some change. I'm hanging on to that 6'3" as long as I can, but it ain't working. So, hope everybody's ready for the weekend. 5'4". Yeah, that's kind of. I feel like honestly that's an average female height, kind of 5'4"ish. Is kind of a typical. It's funny. I've done a lot of research about giants and the old tech from the old buildings, from the old world all over that had these giant, 30, 40-foot doors, and seeing petrified giants if y'all look into mud flood researches and stuff. And I feel like the giants, I feel like they helped us build a lot of the structures with geopolymer mixes. Yeah, Tartarian, that's right. Everybody classifies the old world buildings as Tartarian. It's just kind of sums it up, but I think there was more to it than that. But in a general classification, Tartaria is just the sum of what everybody calls the old world tech. But yes, and they were much more advanced, way more advanced than we are in a lot of ways. And there's a funny meme about Indians that said, we had fresh, clean water, women walking around naked all day. We were one with earth and nature, and like only the white man could come and think that he could improve that system. And like look at the systems we have now. Like Indians, I love Indians. Like I love it because I love nature. I really do. So a lot of that Tartarian old school tech with the giants is. It seems to me that people were much bigger. And even when I went to a Cherokee Reserve here where I'm at, they said that the average Indian height used to be 6'1" or something. Like the average, just like within 100 years ago. So imagine like every, and that includes females. So that on an average, 6'1" tall Indians. And it's just like, man, how do we all shrink? How do we all shrink? I kind of prefer. I can't say that I prefer smaller girls because I like tall girls too. I like all kinds of girls. I'm a girl watcher, watching girls go by. What's up? How you doing, Jehove? Thanks for joining. Appreciate it for coming by. Let's talk about it. Hey, Jimmy, what's up? Yeah, that was actually suggested to me by when I made after I made my first video. Somebody said that they almost did not watch it because I didn't say, "Let's talk about it," and I was like, "All right, well, I'll just start saying, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it after every subject." So I'll start a subject. I'm like, "Let's talk about it." Hey, Italiano. All right. Where did we miss the mud flood growing up? Never heard of it till recently, and I'm a history major. Yeah, so it sounds like you're getting your knowledge from public narratives, Harry, and the owners and controllers that pay for and fund all of the public education have a specific narrative of an evolutionary timeline that they do not want to deviate from. So here's what happens in the textbooks of the indoctrinated. You will receive a textbook in geology, and it will say that there are strata layers where you find progressively increasing intelligent creatures throughout the stratus. And when you get into the field and actually get into archaeology, they'll say, yeah, throw that book away because that is completely garbage. That is not how it works at all. Like, there are trees that grow through, quote unquote, millions of years of strata. And if you look at all of the technology, like all the old school buildings and stuff, you can clearly tell that there was some type of mud flood that had taken over the entire world and kind of and flooded everything. Which is, it's almost every single major culture on Earth teaches about a worldwide flood. Now, apparently there was a fire one, and there was a flood, and then I've seen places that have been like liquefied with fire, and like a lot of the old school technology, they had gold plating, they had free etheric energy that was given out, they had advanced machines if you look at the most advanced computer. But a lot of this history is erased from the public mainstream narratives, including giants, mud floods and giants, because it doesn't push the controllers of the world's narratives. And the controllers of the world want you to believe that you are an accidental monkey that is flying through an endless void of space on a ball that just so randomly happened to exist. And that keeps you from questioning that there was a creator, that we all just kind of crawled from soup. And one of my favorite analogies is from this guy called Bear, when he talks about the Big Bang was actually when when your dad and your mom got it on, and that was the Big Bang that created the evolutionary, which was you. And you started off as a little cell that divided from the spark, and then you grew into a fish, and then you crawled from the waters and the embryonic fluid. So he's like it's based on truth. The evolutionary tale is based on truth, but the Big Bang was really when your dad banged your mom. I thought that was like a really funny analogy, but it kind of rung with me. I kind of like the Bear. All right. You went to private schools my entire life, so the whole system is affected. Yeah, so when you go to private schools, they still have to teach a public curriculum typically. Now, my daughter's getting ready to start this it's like a hybrid between homeschooling and Montessori. So she's getting ready to start that class here soon, and it's kind of student-led. Like there's a teacher that's there kind of guiding, but your typical 99% of your private and public schools have a curriculum that was agreed upon by certain funders that are allowing the credits to be applied to a public database to continue education. So that's what happens, and I'm telling you, in almost every single field. It does not matter what subject you are studying. When you have a book that is from the rulers of the world, and there's like one major one, I cannot remember the name of it. It's a UK-based a publisher that basically produces like the majority of the world's educational material. And whenever you get a subject like welding, you get a subject like carpentry, you get a subject like auto mechanics, you get a subject like archaeology, like any of that stuff, they'll teach you a certain specific set of ways in the classroom, but when you go out into the field, they will be like, throw that book away. It is completely garbage. Here is how it really works. And that is why, hands down, when you are trying to apply for a job, they do not only want you to have 4 years of school education, but they also want you to have 2 to 3 years of field knowledge, because you have to learn all of the private or the paper side, like the studying and looking up stuff and doing computer work, but you also have to know how stuff really works. And that's what happens when you get away from the classroom and you go out into the field. And a lot of us get behind on education because by the time we start to learn what's really going on, we're so far behind in student loans and debts and credit, and we're worrying about fads and families and trying to like buy stuff and like keep afloat, instead of like wondering about what's really going on in the system. And that's why it's a 6-day work week, sometimes 5-6 days, to give you a little bit of a break so that you don't just kill yourself, but you don't have enough time to like poke your head out of the box and try to question what's really going on with reality, because you're constantly worried about so much stuff with works and jobs and trying family and insurance and all this stuff. Vic Santos, thank you for the roses, much appreciated. Where are we at on questions? Oh yeah, so again, private school is still typically has a public curriculum that is agreed upon. So that's part of why I am a very self-educated person. A lot of people ask me where I went to college, and I'm like, I did some studying on my own. They're like, dude, you are freaking crazy intelligent. I'm like, yeah, because I didn't care about school. I didn't like school at all. Like, I didn't want to be in there learning about George Washington's wooden teeth. Like, it just seemed like garbage to me. I was ready to get out and, like, work and have fun and stuff. And so anyway, let me go on. Please tap the screen. Thank you. Likes are free. I appreciate it. Thumbs up. I'm an intentional monkey. I don't know. Oh, instead of an accidental? Yeah, that's funny. I'm going to throw some bananas at you, Veronica. Laughing at the ball globe. Yeah. Holy Carp International. Why? Oh, international. What am I missing? Oh, intentional. I've been researching in its true history, so I've just been getting as much as possible. That's awesome. So look up Tartaria, and I think that there was declassified CIA was it? Yeah, declassified CIA documents that said that they purposely erased Tartarian history from all of the maps, all of the books, all of the everything. And that's part of why, Veronica, when you say that Putin is a bad guy. Putin is the only president that I know of that intentionally released Tartarian maps and knowledge that has been suppressed. And I think he also is leaving the world agreed upon Antarctic treaty that everybody agreed upon that says we can't go past a certain parallel to explore our real Earth's plane. Because that's like the only treaty that has lasted forever between everybody. All countries agreed that nobody can explore Antarctica. So, all right, I see you laughing. It's been so long since I said something funny, so I don't even know what you're laughing at. But where's more info to research? So that's what I was saying, Harry. So look up Tartaria, and be honest with you, TikTok has a plethora of knowledge. And I'll tell you where you look. Go on my website under Nature and look up Flat Earth, look up Tartaria, look up giants. You will see so much information on my website. Guys, this live will be posted on my YouTube, and the audio will be posted on my Telegram. If y'all want to go back and listen to any of this stuff at any time, I have exclusive content on my website, on my Telegram, on my TikTok, and on my YouTube, and on True Social. So if y'all want to explore any of that stuff, feel free. But like I said, this live audio and video will be on YouTube. So Veronica, I used to moderate this live, so I'm still prompting. Now, thanks. I do appreciate that. I wish you could moderate. I don't know why they don't allow it on this type of platform, but I do appreciate you, Veronica. The Big Bang is either 1, the beginning God, or 2, in the beginning, poof, nothing magically blew up. Yeah, so, and I sat around a table because I'm a flat earther, I'll just put it out there. I sat around a table with my family, and they're laughing, just like anybody who thinks the world's flat at the beginning. They're like, that's absolutely stupid, that's crazy. So they're all laughing, like, I can't believe people think the earth is flat. And I was already, heavily starting to research flat earth. And I looked at them and said, I'll be honest with you, I think no matter which model that you take a position on, it takes a great deal of faith. Either you believe in a creator that designed intelligently, which is what my research has shown, is that there is an intelligent design behind everything, or you believe that everything just poof accidentally came out of nowhere and just suddenly magically is perfect distance away from the sun, the moon, the tides, the water, all this stuff. I think either model that you choose takes a tremendous amount of faith, regardless. So you got to pick a side. I see Jimmy B saying, let's talk about it on my Telegram group. All right. Is it just me, or did Charles's voice tone just change? I don't know. It might have. Sorry. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I got closer to the mic or something. I think you. Thanks. Charles is a woman watcher, remember? Yeah, girls are pretty. I just, and I'm not afraid to tell them either. I'm really not. It just is. They are. Some of them are. And it's like they're so pretty. It's like, how are you even possible? Like, you look like a comic book character. Blah blah blah. Chipmunk voice. Did I go into a chipmunk voice? Is my voice changed like that? That's what lockdowns gave us time to learn. That's true. It gave people a lot of time to start OnlyFans too, Harry. Make a whole lot of babies, and also swallowed up a lot of good small businesses that are not that I felt like should not have been swallowed up, because in all honesty, a lot of those small mom and pop shops were keeping some of the larger corporations in check, and a lot of the large corporations don't like the small corporations because the small corporations have low overhead and they can give much better value to average ordinary citizens. And it's a fine line where, like Walmart, I've heard that Walmart has a deal with the people's birth certificates on Wall Street and is getting somehow backed by the bonding and monetization of the birth certificates on the world stage, and that's how they're able to keep the deal so cheap. That's what one of my old teachers was saying. I don't know how to prove that, but I can tell you Walmart does have some really good deals. So does Amazon, but a lot of their stuff's in warehouses, and when you got to pay rent in a building and AC stuff and keep stuff in a warehouse, all this stuff is overhead. Everything's gone up. I was walking around with a roofer yesterday, and he said that since COVID, everything has doubled. Everything. He said down to the screws that he uses. He said all the material, all the plastic, all of the shingles, everything has doubled. And it's just like, and that's got to be hard, because I can guarantee you, how many of y'all's paychecks have doubled since COVID? Has anybody's paychecks doubled? Because I remember when gas started going crazy, like I was ready to start a business, but I didn't, because the stock market was crashing and gas was going through the roof, and I didn't know what was going on. So, all right, so that's what lockdowns did. I sped up, maybe. Alvin, I guess. Hold on. Is my voice still like chipmunk sounding, or is it because I talk real fast like this? Now, did the tone change or just the speed? Because I sound normal. I'm gonna actually listen to this audio, so I'm gonna see what y'all are saying. Sometimes, like, I do go into hyper mode. If you could only recommend one book to someone above any other book, what would you say? I would honestly say my favorite law book is the Bible. It is, but it is also the written word that binds and kills everybody. But it also can be a tree of life if you know how to read it properly. So that's my favorite law book. It really is. And other than that, outside of law, I don't really have much favorite books. I just because books make me sleepy when I start trying to read that stuff. And I mentioned on my last live, if I was a girl and reading, like, because girls like reading erotic novels, that would probably keep me awake if I was like a chick reading an erotic novel. But I'm not a chick, and I don't read that stuff. Putin is doing a lot of good for people. Thank you. I love to research. What's your website again? My website is on my profile page of my TikTok, and that's where all my social medias will be found. My email, there's a phone number on there. You can DM me, you can email me, you can ask a question here too if you want. Sometimes questions get a little behind because I spend a little more time on others, but I do my best to answer everybody as best I can. J. Chris, blessings, brother. Have to go through more of the info on the site. Yeah, absolutely. But like I said, there's so many topics on there, and I have almost 1,000 TikTok videos that I've downloaded. I download them all the time that deal with like natural remedies and herbs and like all kinds of different subjects that I want to continue to put on my website, including commerce and sovereignty and just on and on and on. I'm an earther. We're here. I don't care if it's flat or spinning. That's true. A lot of people will say that. It's like it's irrelevant. But to me, that was one of the biggest things that blew my mind. Number one was researching the pandemic, because I knew that my job was going to be terminated at a certain time. I just didn't know when. And I had worked there for almost my whole life. And then the second thing was when I found out that the earth was not a spinning ball. And you can't have a vacuum next to a non-vacuum. And I researched the heck out of it. Like, I was just like, what in the world? How did I get deceived into? I even had people coming up and telling me, they were like, man, I don't think the earth's a ball. And I'm like, yeah, right, of course. It's a sphere. It's perfect and whole and complete. It's like, it's the creator's little creation. Like, I was defending it. And then I started doing research outside of the public paid for narratives. And Vic Santos, thanks for the roses again. Much appreciated. Much love. Thank you guys, everybody. it's just, you have to do your own research and also cross-check and verify what type of sources you're using, who's funding the source, because whenever you get to control what you create, and whenever you're funding a source, you can dictate what the outcome is going to be. Hey, I forgot to tell you, thank you. You recommended a book to me one of the last lives, so that's cool. Can watch but don't touch. You're married? No, I'm not. I'm not really married, buddy. I'm somewhat single. I'm in a weird situation, but I am able to date. It's just kind of hard because I was just telling somebody, like any girl that's semi cute, it's like, here's my webcam link, or here's my OnlyFans, and it's like, yeah, I was trying to take you out to dinner. And it's like, yeah, buy a subscription first, and then we'll talk about it. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. It's just, anyway. So, oh great, my pleasure. Yep, Anointed, thank you for posting my website. It's anointednewfoundationofpeace.life. It is, and it's located on my profile page of TikTok. Yep, only 1611, Jimmy, that's right. Actually, I kind of wish I could read Hebrew, because Hebrew is, like I mentioned in one of my foundation videos, when you start transliterating different versions and translating it from one type of what's the speech parlance, common parlance, from one culture to another, like, substance gets lost. So the 1611 King James Version, for me, and using a parallel where you can cross-reference it to Greek or Hebrew, that will definitely help make sure that you stay in line with the original creator's intentions. What happens with a lot of people is they want to run with what they think their interpretation of certain scriptures are. D. Sumnum, you made it. I almost thought about messaging you just to see, but I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to let Dory see if she ever comes on, and then if she doesn't, I'm going to rag her later. So, all Walmarts will be used for the New World. They are all in strategic locations on railroads, etc. Yeah, I have heard of that. And I have seen where certain Walmarts do have deals with, like, the UN, where they can easily be converted into concentration camps and stuff like that. But I also know that the enemy's most powerful weapon is confusion and fear. And I have noticed when I go on TikTok, a lot of the conspiracies are constantly saying, doomsday is coming. Doomsday is coming. They're saying this date, all the banks are going to change. This date, we're all going to be locked up. This date, it's like, and every date, it doesn't happen. Now, I'm not saying that the financial system isn't going to change, because it appears very clear to me that the financial system is going to change. But like I said, I've heard both opposing stories. I've heard that human trafficking would almost stop immediately overnight if we went to a digital system. Everybody's so worried. And I was sitting there talking with these old timers. This dude actually had a silver coin in his pocket, and I'm like, that's so cool, because that's real money of account on Substance. I was like, that's awesome. So we're sitting there talking about the new currency, and the guy was agreeing with me. He's like, we're already basically in a digital system. I'm like, they're already tracking every single thing that you do unless you pull money out. And when you pull money out, it will say on your bank account you purchased tampons and $30 was pulled out in cash. Like, it literally says that. And I even can integrate all of my information from my bank accounts into my taxes. Like, it'll automatically incorporate it and break it down by pets, travel, groceries, like all that stuff. It's already all, like, categorized into some type of format. They're tracking everything, and it's all digital. Like, it's just ones and zeros floating through the screen. But everybody holds value to it, and that's why it binds everybody, because that's what makes the world go around, through that commercial stuff. Black's Law Dictionary is okay, Veronica, but they update them every single year. It's just like the public fool system with the indoctrination camps. They'll change a few definitions, or they'll find new technology, or new things will change, and they'll make you buy a brand new book. And I remember when I was going through college, just because I was doing a couple courses on the side of subjects that I liked and interested in, well, I would toggle. I know it's important to learn things that you like, also things that you don't like that are necessary, just to kind of balance out. So I did a few college courses, nothing major, and every time I would sign up for a class, they would make you buy a $400 book. And in the next year, they were like, oh yeah, that one's outdated because they updated Section 3. And it's like, okay, so can I use this book for that? And they're like, no, we won't allow you to enter this class unless... I was like, this is a racket on the highest level. Y'all are charging $400 a book, and you're only changing like a couple phrases or words in it each year, and then you won't accept the previous years, like the whole book's garbage at that point. And they're like, yep. And I was like, this is a whole different type of racketeering right here going on. But Black's Law updates all the time, and on my website I have Black's Law 1 through 9 through the dictionaries if you want to look at them. All right, Putin giving true history and letting people decide what they believe. Yes, that's right. That's why I kind of appreciate that. When I found out he was the only one releasing Tartarian knowledge and maps and stuff like that, I was like, that is dope. That is dope, because the world has come together on many different types of agreements. And one of them, other than the UCC, was the Antarctic Peace Treaty. And another one was that they were going to erase Tartaria from all the maps and all the history because it doesn't fit the mainstream narrative. Just like the evolutionary theory. Anything that goes against the evolutionary theory, like more advanced technology, like the mud flood, like mud fossils, giants, stuff like that, etheric energy, like they don't want free energy put out there because it's not profitable. They only care about profit and like having us work for a short amount of time in our life, earning a certain amount of money, and then giving our life up to them, and then just disappearing. All right, so encyclopedias before 1958 talk about the firmament. Yes, yeah, they do. Yeah, and so does the Bible. The planet size had mesmerized and kept the truth from my eyes. Okay. Oh yeah, you're talking about because of the curve? A lot of people can't find the curve. I disagree with Charles on Putin. I was born in Russia. He may do something good here and there. Yeah, that's what I was just mentioning. Some of the cool things I thought that he had done. Why not try to learn Hebrew? I have started learning some of it, but my path is a little bit different, and I have been basically led to. I've wanted to start learning. Trust me, I've wanted to start learning a lot of things. Like, I'm into so many subjects. I'm like a little squirrel when it comes to going in different directions and stuff. And I also have to be very careful because I can spend too much time. Yeah, I don't know if you ever heard the phrase "jack of all trades but master of none." So that's what I kind of try to be. Same thing with this triangle, but behind me. Like, I try to dabble in all of them, but I'm not like the master, the one and only master of all. Like, I'm looking for those masters. I'm looking for the master of commerce, the master of nature, the master of spirit that can help me help people. I'd love to put everybody together. He might be, and I'll be honest with you, almost. It's hard to run a corporation that size, a country which is a corporation, without making decisions that harm somebody. You know, like, just look at like any public pagan holiday. You know, like try to look at the 685 genders. Like, there is nothing that you can do that you will not find somebody that is for or against. You could start a campaign for trying to, paint all zebras purple, and you will find crews of people that are all about it. They're like, yo, I've been missing painting purple zebras my whole life. Like, this is what I've been missing. And there'll be PETA out there protesting, like, that paint better be biodegradable, and you better be able to allow my grandma to eat it on Wednesday, and blah. Like, you cannot satisfy everybody. It doesn't matter what position you take. And that is why I try to always come from a neutral position, because when you decide, when you come from one position or another, you will always find something in opposition. So if you come from a place of neutrality and peace and neutral, you're able to assess and weigh all sides constantly. And that's why I try to stay in that kind of position, to be able to assess everything properly. And it takes a lot for me to decide, to take a side. And then even then, I still always will accept any contradicting information, as long as it makes sense, it's valid, it has good source, stuff like that. If it don't hold water, like, I test it. I'm going to test it, especially if you come at me with something that goes against what all of my research has shown, that I'm building foundations off of. I'm laying foundations here, guys. I am laying foundations that cannot be shook, that cannot be shaken, that cannot be moved. So if you're going to come at me with some type of information and knowledge that you think is going to change and alter my mind, it better break one of my foundations, because I am laying stuff that cannot be changed. So I will always open up and take a position of neutrality to try to receive opposing information. But if it isn't based on something that can break my walls, then go somewhere else with it, fool somebody else, charge somebody else with it. Like, I have to help people all day with all these pirates that deceive people into this information that leads them into jail or astray. And it does get kind of frustrating. I do love my job. I love helping people, but it is also very frustrating that so many people pay so much money for garbage. Like, I did it. I was one of them, because I didn't have foundations like this behind me that I could lay truth upon and build off of. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to lay foundations for everybody so that y'all can grow and build upon the truth. All right. Use the 1928 Webster. Yeah, I think that mentions the firmament in there. It has Bible quotes within definitions. King James Version, 1928 Webster Dictionary. That's awesome. And last live, or maybe it's the one before that, a guy mentioned the public policy code, that the King James Version was kind of brought into being the foundation, or part of the foundation of the United States judicial system. I think it was like 1920, public policy 19280 or something like that. I don't remember where I wrote it down. Oh, 97289, public policy. You know, somebody told me a long time ago, if you don't write it down, it didn't happen. So that's just proof right there. Boom, I wrote it down, so it happened. I'm learning Hebrew and Latin, and that's awesome. So a lot of people will mention Latin, which is the legislative side, which is from the Vatican, right? So the Vatican is the legislative branch of the elites. And a lot of the law scriptures, I call them scriptures, have Latin base into them. And a lot of people will talk to me and stuff about like ens legis and vicus collecta and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't speak Latin. You know, I just don't. They're like, why do you say person? Why do you say, because like I'm not changing my tongue because there's some black law book that mentions persons or corporations and stuff. Like, when writing legal documents, I try not to say nunc pro tunc, you know, which means now for then. You can have the same force and effect without using the UCC codes. They're bound by it no matter what, even if you invoke that code or not. Or if you just use the words, same thing. You don't have to use Latin, but each tongue and each symbol and each culture has very powerful and unique language. And that's why it was all split in confusion. But what's cool is when you come to a spiritual realization on a different level, on a high frequency and plane, all different languages that used to be together are together. And you can hear, you can understand, you can feel the words, even though it doesn't make sense to you. I've done it. Somebody can be speaking a whole different language, and animals can do it. Animals can sense when they're in danger or something crazy's going on or whatever, because of the energy. And before all of the languages got confused because of the Tower of Babel, which, by the way, to me, some stuff of that is still going on. Anyway. You can sense and tell other people's languages on a spiritual level as having this meanings that you can comprehend. All right, but yeah, I'd like to learn Hebrew. Cryptocurrency might be the future. I don't know. A lot of people, my assumption is this on cryptocurrency. My assumption is that Bitcoin could have been a CIA operative. It has a backdoor for black operations. And when the monetary system changes, whoever wins. Now, I don't know if the true battle is about money and offing people or not. I know it's weird that Bill Gates has that certain patent that's 666 on movement and stuff, but my assumption is this: whoever the controllers of the world, whether that ends up being the spiritual side of good or bad or whatever, whenever that system is finally ironed out, whatever all those 16,000 other cryptocurrencies that are outgoing will automatically be worthless overnight. And then all of the people that controlled them will walk away as millionaires. So they will have everybody's real cash, and they'll convert it over to whatever the real system will be in the future, which my assumption is it's going to be like something like XRP or some type of agreed upon ISO 202022 something standard that the world agrees upon. Because I think all the banks had to be, was it Basel IV compliance within 5 years from January of this year. So the U.S. dollar is gone. It is going out within 4 years, hands down. Quote me on that. Or sorry, 5 years. Quote me on that. Take it to the bank. The U.S. currency is going to be out. Now, whatever currency is accepted and approved upon is my assumption is going to be the BRICS nations dollar, because the BRICS nation, if you look at the entire Earth as a corporation, the BRICS nation owns almost 50% of the world's global domestic product. And once they reach 51% of the global domestic product, they will immediately basically have a corporate takeover. They will control the Earth's GDP. That means what the real assets are, the actual tangible Earth's good. I'm talking about gold, diamonds, platinum, oil, all that stuff. When BRICS owns 51% of the world's GDP, there will be a shift. And right now they have a gold-backed digital currency. I don't know what that is. If somebody wants to tell me what that is, my assumption is that that will be what is going to be the main currency of exchange once the BRICS nations takes over. All right, so please tap the screen. Thank you. Harry, I keep coins minted before 1964. Absolutely, 100. I actually shoot for pre-1933, especially if it's the United States, because that was after the bankruptcy and the insolvency of the corporation known as the United States Inc. So if you want to do that, I always do not pre-1933 silver is what I shoot for. Is what right, Veronica? Jimmy B, use Black's fifth or before. Yeah, they do try. They try to change. They update. I mean, it's just like slang, Jimmy. When it comes to language, like every year, if you think about it, new slang words come out. I mean, just think about how many different genders came out this year. Was there another 600, another 300 something genders? I mean, stuff changes. You know, that's one thing about contracts. They're dynamic and fluid. Guys, this live will be on my YouTube, the audio and visual. The audio will be on my Telegram. I have exclusive content on TikTok, True Social, YouTube, Telegram, and on my website. My website has all kinds of subjects that I've studied, kind of esoteric and occult stuff that just isn't part of the public mainstream indoctrinated camps that everybody goes to. It's a racket. Yeah, it is a racket, absolutely. I like it when you say, I'm a little squirrel. I am. I get a little squirrely. I surely do. All right, so thank you, Hoodwinker, for the heart. Thank you for the electric. Vic Santos, thank you for the roses. I appreciate you guys. Much love, much appreciated. All right, Veronica, that's me, Jane of all trades. Dang, I must be way behind because I talked about that a long time ago. Ana Luna, it's so easy to get lost in a worlds of information. It is, and that's why I try to stay on the path of what my goal is, to try to help educate and break foundations that people have built upon false narratives, right? And if you don't have truth as a foundation to build upon, truth and spirit. Now that is kind of what I mentioned in the Bible, that the elders are bound in truth, the young men are bound in spirit, but the children are the one that walk closely with the Creator, that are bound in truth and in spirit and love through sacrifice. And they're the ones that aren't indoctrinated. And that's where you want to come from all the time. You have to have the truth and the spirit, because truth is good and it's right and it's righteous. Spirit is good and it's right and it's righteous. But if it's not in truth and in spirit, hands down. D. Somnium, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but still always better than a master of one. That's pretty sweet. Meme girl. Harry Thompson. Use your subconscious. Play videos while you sleep. You will be able to recall. That's phenomenal. I usually play rainforest sounds while I'm sleeping, because sometimes, so on the weekends, my son stays with me. And that means I don't get a whole lot of sleep, because he's like an alligator doing one of those spin moves like all night, just rotisseраting, and he always wants to put his feet between my legs, so he's always kicking my balls. And like, I just wake up in the middle of the night because his little feet are just like straight boxing my balls, and it's just like, and I try and I'll be like, try not to scream, right? Because it's like, it's middle of the night, but it is just like, I am getting no sleep during the weekends, because I try to give baby mama some breaks, because she stays with them Monday through Friday, so I can get up early and go to work and all this other stuff. And yes, build on a solid rock, 100%. Veronica, thanks for saying how to like the video. I was struggling to figure it out. You are an interesting character, homegirl. I'm a moderator. I hate Charles as much. Yes, you do. She does. Veronica is my ace. My other moderator is incognito. She's ghost. I don't know if she'll ever be on here again. Please tap the screen. Thank you. Public Law 97280, October 4th, 1982, 96 Sat, 1211, 97th Congress, Bible, the Word of God. Yep, it's incorporated as a foundation upon which the U.S. Judicial system can kind of was established, and that's what it's all about. Shay, I agree with 5 years. What is 5 years? Yeah, the U.S. dollar, 100%. Banks are closing left and right. So are other corporations. Like, if you watch what the big ballers do, like watch what Warren Buffett does. Now, I don't know about Elon. Elon he's almost up there with that stupid money. And I'll tell y'all this, and y'all might not know this, y'all might not care, but here's the real truth. The people with real wealth, the real wealth, the private money, there are people out there that have so much private money that it would blow your mind away. The top 500 wealthiest people in the world, one of these people would swallow them up. These are the people that have gone through the DTC and have monetized all 10 of their Social Security bonds and converted the assets into like gold and silver and rubies and like have mansions, like all that stuff. Like there are people that are even above and beyond that system. The like the 13 families or the 4 families or whatever it is that rule the world. Like there are people out there that have some private money that would blow your mind. Like what is it? 1% of the world owns 99% of the wealth, or something like that. It's something crazy. Jehovah, have you heard that the BRICS was started by Goldman Sachs? No, I have not. That is news to me. That would seem a little odd. I'd have to fact check that because BRICS, nobody batted an eye at the BRICS when they first started, but now that everybody has started joining them, especially after this pandemic that shook the world, Elon, a sweet rescuer, hey, Elon did say we will be a voiceless society within the next 10 years. Yeah, I feel like Elon's like part of the, a lot of people, like even one of my old teachers, he's all for Elon, and I'm just like, something ain't sitting quite right with me with Elon. And it might seem like he's like the great savior of Twitter and helping everybody free information. Now that is true, hands down. Twitter, it has been proven, had an entire branch of FBI that was working for Twitter that was purposely subverting all of the vaccination data to help people be educated and understand not to get vaccinated. Like they were purposely suppressing all of that. And when Elon came in and made it seem like, oh, he's just releasing and helping everybody and saving everything and doing all this, but something ain't sitting right with me on Elon. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. That's just me. So, Harry, right now, the sad fact is the one BRICS dollar to 55 of US dollar. Wow, I didn't know that. I don't even know how to get a BRICS dollar, to be honest with you. I haven't paid money. And I'm sorry, guys, money is worthless to me other than the fact that I know that it's a tool that binds everybody in the world. Like, which, hey, that seems pretty valuable, right? I mean, a tool that binds everybody on earth. Well, to me, I know that money is worthless. It has no value. Its only value is upon the exchanging party who has the value placed upon it. Because I know that it's a very powerful tool and you can do things with it, but I don't pay attention to no money. And commerce hates me for that. But I'm bound by love. This natural body, this natural realm is temporary. It's not my kingdom. It's not mine. It's just something that I'm temporarily playing in. Fenner PG, real asset to be transferred to Vatican Bank. So Vatican, I don't know if you've seen this, but the Vatican actually called out all outstanding loans and money a while back. I think it's been about 2.5, 3 months. They called out every single outstanding dollar to be brought back into the Vatican, which the Vatican is its own sovereign nation. It's one of the triple power players for the elites. It's the legislative branch. Thank you, Veronica, for posting the website. I appreciate it. Mama, do you think we possibly are in a simulation? Makes sense the controller is winning because they know more. Yeah, so there's yes and no. I think we're in a simulation as to this because I know for a fact that there are prophetic decrees and prophetic actualities, which means that if in the spiritual realm there is information about what will happen, and nothing will change that. So that to me means that this stuff is somewhat of a simulation. And when you break down like a computer screen and you see pixels, same thing that happened if you break down, you go into one of our cells, like everything in atoms, like it's all just kind of pixelated. That's like almost like a supercomputer. We to my best of my knowledge, we're fractals of the Creator, and we are all different iterations of the one that are just expressing itself and living itself through different ways and manners. But simulation, yes and no. So the same thing with this triangle behind me. It exists no matter what, but not everybody knows it exists. So it's the same thing with like the simulation. It's like yes, but no, because not everybody knows it exists, and you are able to cut off the consciousness that is able to tap into the reality of it being a simulation, so you can live the rest of your life not knowing it's a simulation and acting as if you're not. And if you start living in it's a simulation world, it's real hard to break away from everybody being an NPC, which it's easy to classify a lot of people as being asleep as NPCs, but I try not to do that because I feel like some people could be shaken and woken up, but not everybody. Mike Swinger, amen, brother. Veronica, we live in the Matrix. Yeah, we do. We do live in the Matrix. Well, we live in the nature, spirit, and commerce, at all times at once. We are the past, present, and future at all times at once. We are the beginning and the end, the middle. We are fractals of the Creator, the divine spark, all of us. We are all that. This natural, a lot of us get fooled by the temporary natural light. And the rulers of the natural light world have set allowance to be able to deceive us. And if you are able to see past with the eye of unity, the false light of the world, you're able to see that we're all one, and none of us are going to make it out of here alive. All right, Harry Thomas. So a pair of shoes that cost $300 will cost $1,500. Must learn to use the money of accounts versus exchange. Yeah. So, inflation could go crazy. A lot of people think they're teaching Nassar and Gassar and stuff like that, but there's a balance to it. If everybody got $100 million in their bank, all of a sudden a loaf of bread would cost $10,000 like within a couple weeks, because everybody's got $100 million in the bank. So, to me, Nassar ain't really going to happen. Good life with God. I listen to the Bible or worship music while I sleep. That is good too. That's good subliminal affirmations and energies and frequencies, absolutely. And a lot of the spirits that are unholy and unclean cannot stand spiritual good talks from the Bible. Like I've personally had them hop out of me when I talk about scripture or talk about good stuff, or stop trying to lust, stop watching girls, right? So it's all a spiritual game, and a lot of people don't want to accept that and don't want to open their eyes to that. But this is a spiritual game that's being played, and a lot of people are asleep in the natural realm, being bound as animals that can't open up their third eye to see the reality. All right, a kick in the nuts will wake you up. Yes, it will. Swift kick in the balls. How's that? Did my voice change now? I get kicked in the balls. That's going to be great when I listen to this audio later. All right, YPY, remind me of the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know what that means. Harry Thomas, LOL. Good life with God, need to start doing this again. Yeah. Jimmy B, Trump signed an executive order to make the court system based on God. That's pretty sweet. I've never heard that before. That's awesome. Elon is an op. Yeah, it could be just a distraction. Scene one of Trust Account, Jimmy B, 164 zeros after it's held with the World Bank. Some of that stuff is like fabricated. It could be true, but you just got to be careful when you're looking at information, because, and I was telling Dsomnium, a lot of people on TikTok are paid opposition. They get paid to put out false narratives, and a lot of people, they don't care. They'll, if you give somebody $20, they'll like, I'll say whatever you want. For $20, they will lie and deceive the world, especially even if they have 100,000 followers or whatever. They'll be like, heck yeah, I'll say whatever you want, man. Just keep giving me $20 a week. Why not? It's just free money. Hey, I'll say that hamsters are going to invade Mars like tomorrow. Like they've caught radio signals from some octopus that can read our minds. They'll be like, yeah, I'll put that out. Why not? $20. Anyway, so they are still banning people and adding fact checks. So guys, here's what's weird. I was shadow banned for a while. I was seeing like 2 to 3 thousand views a week, and then suddenly it just screeched halt. And then now for some reason it's back up again. Like my videos are going out again. Like it's just flowing. Like I don't know. I don't think my videos are going out through being sponsored, but it seems like they are all of a sudden. And I might end up sponsoring one of my videos to put out because the spiritual stuff just ain't going out. So one day I might end up sponsoring it just so it wakes up more people. They are still banning. Sweet Rescuer, same. I don't have good feelings about him and his motives. Okay, y'all talking about Elon. I don't trust Elon either, guys. Elon, yes, he did wear that New World Order jacket. And that's part of the controllers of the world have to give out publicly. I think it's part of karma. They have to publicly tell people what they're doing and what's going on. And that's why if you open your eyes and you get information from outside of the public mainstream media, you're able to get like some good stuff. And a lot of these, like for instance, the entertainment industry, they have to tell you that they have to sacrifice people. They have to tell you what they have to do, that they worship Satan. They have to tell you these things because that way it lets you know when you start listening to them and bobbing your head in agreement to everything that they're doing. They just told you they worship the dark side of death for overthrowing good in the world. And you're just like, yeah, keep on bobbing your head to it, right, yeah. But they have to publicly tell you when they sacrifice somebody or worship Satan and stuff like that. So it's I don't know if it's part of the established anyway, it's part of the decisions that have to be made for karma. Elon wore that jacket. He did. Shay, I don't like Elon. There's something shady about him. Yeah, something seems a little off. I saw something where they said that he's a real dark character, but everybody and their mama can go on TikTok and say whatever they want, and that's why I always try to base my judgments and vetting things, including conspiracies and people, on foundations. It's like real easy to catch a catfish if you know what you're looking for. And I have had so many catfish try to catch me, especially if you start going into the dating game. If anybody tries to date out there, by the way, and you're like trying to do digital dating and you... Anyway, all right. Adrian, thank you for the roses. I appreciate it. Jehovah, LOL. I'm definitely not saying it's true. Just curious if you heard Goldman starting bricks. I have not. Like I said, Jehovah, I'd have to look into it. It is very possible. I have been blown away on things that I thought for sure were this and end up being that. Like it's hard to tell sometimes. Ket MC Broom. I've heard Elon's stepmom, foster mom, thinks he's the Antichrist. That's what I almost just said, but I didn't want to. Just heard it, not verified. Yeah. So that some of that stuff is it's hard to verify, and it's just like I said, anybody and their mama or stepmama or foster mama could say any of that stuff, and it's just hard to vet that. We are the value, then it's gold, silver. So absolutely. And that is what I try to tell corporations that are for profit. Like I wish everything was not for profit, but the for-profit corporations, I try to tell them that the only asset that they really have is people. Because without people, nothing can move. People at the bottom hold the board up. I know the board makes the decisions that shape and mold the company's future and guide it, but you got to understand how that board is being held up. And I have personally witnessed a company that has changed from understanding the value of the people at the bottom to going completely into this is nothing but a business as it changed ownership. People are leaving and exodusing this place because, and it's a big place, because of the value. They basically said people are worthless. You're replaceable. Your value here is based on what you can provide this company, nothing else. And it used to be the opposite, where it's like the owner, the previous owner, was the people were the value, and that's true. That's the only real asset. You can look at all the buildings, all the forklifts, all the cranes, like all the stuff out there. It can do nothing without people. So. Look at Elon's business companies. You'll get, he's keeping with the agenda. Absolutely. And some people cannot reach a certain height. And that's why I know a lot of y'all didn't know that I used to be a rapper, but you can't reach beyond a certain level until you donate or give up your life to the complete opposite of what I did. I gave my life up to the Creator, the One, the True, the Spirit. I'm not trying to sacrifice myself for the natural realm to try to gain and get ahead. Like, that's how you can tell when something is not properly set up. The Bible says we're supposed to sacrifice ourselves for others. And then you look at what the elites, the rulers of the world do. They sacrifice others like babies and drink, adrenochrome and stuff like that. They sacrifice others. So do corporations. And that's why I try to tell people a not-for-profit that helps, like the IRS won't tax you because you're trying to help out mankind. Corporations have people at the very top of the pyramid that are trying to hide money and move assets off the sweat equity of other people's labors. And when you're doing that, you have to be careful because people are the value. And when you're sacrificing other people to make you money, it's not a good system to try to build off of. Elon wants to make X the once company to be used for everything, just like the One Ring. It's very possible. I stopped really using X because it's just like nothing but hot chicks like on there, and it might be because that's what I was trying to look for, but it was the pandemic stuff, and then it's like it's just endless, nothing but like chicks, and it's just like okay, keep it moving. By the nature of the system, if money of account is used, it does not matter what something costs. That I don't know about that. That's very possible. Can you go a little deeper on what you said about the richest people using all 10 on their social security numbers? Yeah, so that's on my discharging debt playlist on how to monetize one of your social security bonds. After a certain date, we're only allowed to get 10 social security cards in our lifetime, and each one of them represents 1/10 of our estate. On the private side, there's a public and a private side. The public side is a social security number. The private side is the bond number on the back that's in red. J. Chris, amen, brother. Harry Thompson, we can take $1 billion and make it worth anything we wish using proper endorsements. Yeah, it's just like the banking system. So they use fractionalizing. Like they can make like $1 million turn into $9 billion or whatever because they only have to keep a certain amount of reserves, and they can keep fractionalizing through promissory notes and lending it out on stuff that doesn't even exist. They just create it out of nowhere, That is so wrong to do. Flat greed. It is. But the sad truth of that is, Kent, is that signing that W-2, we give up all of our, we pledge all of our currency, well, the U.S. is Federal Reserve Notes currencies, for working for profit in a federal zone, and give it up to the people at the top for profit, for greed, and that's how we're all run. We're brought through this indoctrination camp and not taught the proper way to operate through taxes, businesses, trusts, any of that stuff. And then we're thrown out in the world into the wolves and just told, here, sink or swim. And that's what plays on everybody's soul. When I look outside the window and I walk down the street and I see everybody with their head down and they're sad, like life's just kicking them like my son is, kicking them in the balls and just having a tough life, and they don't even have the creator in them. And I'm just like, I don't know how you can make it out there if you don't have the spark of the creator in you. Like, it just seems tough. It'll beat you up, man. Some days are magic, some days are tragic. All right, so Veronica, I co-sign a lot of spiritual people are frauds here. Yeah, it is true. Harry Thompson, I once heard $20 is $20. Yeah, okay. DWG, hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? Thanks for coming. Check it. True Seekers, how you doing? Yes. So it's good karma for them because they told you. Yeah, I don't know if it's good karma. I think it's just part of the rules of what they are doing and allowed. So it's like you're allowed to do this to the people as long as you inform them that you are worshiping the dark side and you're sacrificing people. Then you can have the power that you have sacrificed yourself for. So in the industry, they will basically tell you, if you don't sacrifice someone else, you can't go up to the next level. You can't reach. You'll be cut off. And I've watched comedians that said that they didn't take the deal. They got cut off. They got blackballed, which is a Masonic term for not being invited into the in crowd. They got blackballed for not taking that step. So they were like, the people, the gatekeepers for the next step were like, you're being cut off, all your contracts, all your whatever. And they're like, I don't care. I'm not drinking blood from that. It's just whatever. Okay. That's how I felt with the vaccine mandate. I was like, well, deuce and a bye-bye. I was like, I don't care. I've been here for 10 years. Whatever. Kick rocks. I'm not drinking that juice. I'm not drinking that Kool-Aid. You can have that. V, yes, they have to tell you what they are doing. Yep, been told. True Seeker, it's not good karma, it's universal law. Yeah, that's right. Veronica, universal law. BRICS is a direct plan to started by Omar Gaddafi. I have heard that name, but I don't know what Omar Gaddafi is about. So now we've got two conflicting people. One saying that Omar Gaddafi started BRICS, and another one saying that Goldman Sachs started it. Like, I don't know who started it. I don't. Digital dating, probably time to get off. Yeah, it is. Dating is dead for me now. I intuitively know it's not something I need to focus on. Yeah, that's good. I do it in my free time for fun, but it's just... Charles, I reached out... Hold on, Launchpad 367. Charles, I reached out to you a while back. The guy with cancer, been kind of sidetracked. Now I'm dealing... Okay, yeah, if you want to, just DM me again, man. I'm here unless you got a question I can answer here. Uber question mark, what? With a catheter, I'm still interested in spiritual. Oh, okay, yeah, I remember you, man. Yeah, so I'm definitely I can help in any way possible. If you want me to give you some mentoring and guidance and stuff, by all means. What is this? Wait, what stuff? I don't know. Cafe, like who are you talking to, buddy? D Sumney, how difficult is it to undo the W-2? It's not hard at all. It's not hard at all. You just put it in, but they're going to have some questions. You can start a new contract, but when you first initially get employed, that's the withholding. That is what allows them to treat you. And it's hard not to commingle in a situation, because if you're working for a company that's working for profit in a federal zone, it's kind of hard to say that even though you're a part of that, like you're part of that clique, you're a part of that crew if you're getting paid by them. Unless you are a contractor, that's why you can do a 1099. You can do a 1099 with your own trust, and you tell the HR or whoever to treat you as a 1099 employee. Then you can do different things with the funds than giving up the withholding to the company, who is acting as a withholding agent for the IRS in a federal zone to hold back your funds. Harry. As long as you give them the opportunity to consent by agreeing or acquiesce. Oh, I see what you're saying. Shay, so are the people with student loans, promissory notes going to be dissolved? That is a very strong possibility. I have heard that all debts will be dissolved and be started over, but I don't know what's going to happen with the financial system changing. I can tell you that they are trying to tell us point blank that they don't need all of us anymore now that the system is changing, because the whole purpose and the way the commercial world was set up was for all of us to work and earn almost $1 million over our lifetime for the elites and then die. Like that's the whole, for a very short period. So they're pumping us full of chemtrails, genetically modified food, genetically modified vaccines, all kind of water with fluoride in it, trying to shorten our life. So if the goal was for them originally, the system is set up for have us to live for 60 years probably max, make $1 million for them, and then die. Now that the system is changing, where the money is changing, is a whole different thing. They don't need us anymore, and they're making that very clear. So I don't know what will happen with all of the previous debt that was on account. Sorry, that was to say Muammar Gaddafi. Yeah, I don't know who Muammar Gaddafi. I don't know. It's it could be something you've researched. I'd be willing to look into it. I have some time. That you was an MC. Oh yeah. I actually have a video of me rapping a little bit on my TikTok, a little bit with my daughter. But yeah, I used to be a rapper. But it's pretty vulgar. I was talking about some stank lank and I was getting kind of wild. And that's another reason why I didn't like, because words have meanings and they carry power, right? So when I listen to some of my old stuff, it's just like, I'm talking about big booties and money and cash and guns and drugs, just like every other rapper, it's just like nothing of substance, just bang, bang, bang. And I actually converted into that because originally I was making one of my idols, quote unquote, that I liked to listen to was Nas. And Nas had some awesome lyrics that were very in-depth and well thought out. And I tried to kind of copy as far as being intelligently grafting and crafting lyrics to edify and make cool video or audios. Well, I put out one of my demos and people are like, you're putting too much thought into it. And it didn't make sense to me. I'm like, too much thought? Like, how could you put too much thought into an audio? And then I realized later when I got older, like when you're in the club or somewhere, people don't want to think about their life or their issues or problems. They just want to have fun. They just want to go in there and see girls twerking and like have some drinks and dance and like chill. Like they don't want to think about their baby mama's paycheck problems and stuff like that. They don't want to think about like problems with like spiritual. Like they just don't. They don't care. So but I ended up thinking about that. Yeah, back in the 80s. That's right, Swanger. We are the creditors, so debt forgiveness is for them. We're all debts are already prepaid, and even Federal Reserve notes are just a promise to pay. Like you're not really paying anything at all. It's all a big smoke and mirrors. Like everybody gets deceived and gets up and works and dies for these Federal Reserve notes that have no value at all. It's just a promise to pay one day, and it never comes. Launchpad. I went to a mediator, and she had good things to say. Had a lot of spirits, and said this will be my last time here. So that's good, right? I mean, that's awesome. Does that mean you've like you're on a good path, like you're gonna get out? Yeah, we as Americans were lied to about Muammar Gaddafi and his almost perfect country. Yeah, do some of them know, but you should be able to do it all at once. What was mentioned by that? I don't know what's going on, guys. So, guys, this live will be on my YouTube. If you want to subscribe, all of my content is found on my website, which is located on my profile page of TikTok. So you go on, you click the emblem, go to my website, exclusive material on my website. Go on my social medias. I have exclusive content on TikTok, Telegram, True Social, and now I post all my lives videos on YouTube. So if you want to watch this in full, you'll be able to see it. Desomnium, thanks for letting me know. I have so much to learn. Yeah, we all do. We're all on this great path together, guys. All right, so I might wrap up unless anybody's got any further questions for me, because it's Friday. It's a great day, everybody. Thank you for joining. I'm glad that some of y'all are here trying to be awake and edify the body together with me, trying to walk and learn this stuff, because it takes time. And like I said, all my live audios are on Telegram if you want to join. All my stuff is free content. I try to give freely to try to help edify and wake people up. You see my last question. So, Jehovah, I still don't fully comprehend that. If all debts are prepaid, how do we complete that process? It depends on how you want to do that, Jehovah. Which way do you want to do it? Like I said, there's a public way, there's a private way, there's the Federal Reserve note way, there's a private administrative procedure way where you get someone a contract that says that the debt doesn't exist. There's so many different ways that you can handle and get rid of an obligation or make the obligations that, well, here's how it works. Whoever takes away the remedy must also provide the relief. So when they took away the gold, they have to provide the relief. So they took away the lawful money on account. So you tell the Treasury, the alien property custodian who deals in enemy assets, to set off the debt. Or you can get them in a contract and private administrative procedure that says this debt does not exist and is uncollectible. It's so easy. It's so easy. That's what debt collectors do. That's how they get us into stuff. So there's so many different ways that you can remove yourself from the obligation, because there's quote unquote no such thing as a debtor's prison anymore. Thanks for enjoying the live, D. Appreciate it. Thanks for hearing me out. You're welcome. Like I said, you can DM me Launchpad. I try to do my best to answer everybody's DM. If y'all want, all my stuff's free. I answer everybody's questions. You can email me, write me. My phone number's on my website. My email's on my website. Like there's so many ways to get at me, dog. Get at me, dog. Peace. Yep, you're welcome. I'm glad that I opened your eyes. Yeah, I saw you liking a lot of my videos. Michelle O'Neill. I'm glad that you like them. There's more to come, plenty more. It just takes time. I suggest watching the playlist on my profiles, guys, if you want to be re-educated and unindoctrinated. Appreciate it. No debtor's prison. Get at me, dog. Why don't we come visit and do lunch? Where are you at, Jimmy? Hey, let's talk about it, Jimmy. Yeah, you want to come visit? Let's talk about it. Catch Charles's latest EP. Get at me. Y'all gonna joke me now because I done told everybody I'm a rapper. Very, very few people get to hear some of that vulgar wildness, me rapping. All right, so 28 USC 2007. There's a lot of codes. You can get them in so many contracts because corporations are bound by UCC codes. So it's great to it's so easy to get them in contracts, that they're bound by. We're not bound by any of that stuff. That's what's so cool. You can invoke any of the jurisdictions you want. You can invoke equity. You can invoke admiralty. You can invoke common law. You can invoke UCC codes. You can make your own stuff up. That's the beauty about being a master and the unlimited ability to contract as a sovereign is you can create your own contracts that you are the author of. You are the sole source and author of your own life, and you can shape your reality through the contracts that you make and you take and keep all day. Contracts start verbally. Actually, I guess they start mentally, and then they express verbally. So you send people my way as much as I can. Thanks. Yeah, I'm honest. I am. I honestly, and I don't require any pay for anything. I'm just here all day, just trying. Yeah, we could do a Zoom. I have to set up some stuff. I fell asleep. So you fell asleep watching my stuff. You're trying to tell that's how hype you was getting. That's no prison for debt when all crimes are commercial. That's right. 27 USC 7211. Yes. And 28. I thought it was 28 USC 3002. Subsection was the U.S. is a federal corporation. What are the downsides of being sovereign? The downside of being sovereign is that you have to be responsible for yourself because the rulers of the game said you must either govern yourself or it will be done for you. Most assuredly be done for you. So if you don't govern yourself, others will do it for you. So no matter what, you got to be governed. Govern yourself or others will be doing. And that is what the written law is all about from the book of Moses, from the Bible. The Bible itself. A lot of people want to quote it and preach it and all that stuff, but if you can't govern yourself, there's written laws and guidelines that you can go by that can help you keep in line, right? But guess what? There is no one contract, no book, no law book written that will outline everything that you have to deal with for your entire life. So if you can't make righteous judgments and decisions, I tried to merge those words, decisions. If you can't make righteous decisions and judgments off of every single situation, and you have to rely off of written law to go by, then hey, it'll work. It's just that's not the best way. It's not the path that I teach. I teach to use righteous discernment and judgments for everyday situation. Only he who controls. Yes. So basically, you control what you create. It's a simple maxim. If you want to create a trust, you can hail whatever jurisdiction you want. You can require whatever guidelines and performance, but you cannot compel someone to perform according to your will, and it has to be through their either acquiescence or they have to agree, because there's no such thing as involuntary servitude. So they have to be offered the opportunity to rebut, dispute, or not accept, right? So it's just certain maxims. That's why I love foundations. Once you learn maxims in law or you learn foundations that can't be shaken, you're good. It just goes from there. Guys, this live will be on my YouTube. You can watch it. I'm probably gonna wrap up. Like I said, I get a good hour before my voice starts getting kind of tired of barking. DMX, get at me, dog, at y'all. Thanks for the rose, Michelle O'Neill. Your name be messing me up because I want to say Marshmallow, but it's Michelle. Called me. Does that mean no health care? No, that doesn't mean no health care. Being sovereign, you're already sovereign, good life. So that's what I try to teach people from the very beginning. The first step is understanding that you are already sovereign. You are a fractal spark from the Creator. You are an iteration. You are unlimited. You've been taught your whole life that you are a subject servant, and you can give up your rights and titles and interests to certain things by signing contracts. It's up to you if you want to take benefits and privileges. So I suggest watching the playlist on my profile to help re-educate you and understand how everything works through nature, spirit, and commerce. It'll give you some good foundations to build upon. And 28 USC 2007, no imprisonment. I got you. People need to know the birth certificate is insurance. So the Social Security is the insurance underwriting for the commercial vessel of the all-name capital letter on the birth certificate to sail upon the seas of commerce. So the birth certificate has at least 10 functions, and I outline them in my, Commerce 2 video? I think it's like my second or third Commerce video. I give the outlines of what the birth certificate is. If you want to watch that, Harry, It will tell you. But like I said, I suggest everybody watch the playlist on my profile if you get a chance. Yes, it'll take an hour or so. Sorry I got so many videos, but it helps if you want to re-educate from all the indoctrination that we received as a kid in school, because we were taught wrong on purpose from the controllers that want to keep us blind in a box and serving them. So it's time to like wake up. So watch the playlist on my profile to really help educate you. Download the Maxims of Law. That's really good to understand too. I appreciate you posting that. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna get out of here. I appreciate y'all coming on here to learn. Thanks for all the gifts. Thanks for the likes, the follow. Please watch this video on my YouTube. Follow my Telegram. Go on my website. Browse around. Everybody's got homework to do. Trust me. So I love you guys. Enjoy your weekend. I'm gonna have a little bit of wine tonight, and I'm gonna have some fun. So hope y'all enjoyed the entertainment. Me rapping and talking like a squirrel. And I'll see y'all later.